participating in this. So happy to see you. So happy to be here and to be talking about this theme for the day, which is marriage still worth it in 2023? My name is Lucille Reddick, and what I do is I coach wives. I have coached a few husbands, but my primarily people that I target is I coach wives. I've been married 37 years, and I try to be to wives what I wish I had in the beginning. Because there was a time when I thought that this marriage stuff is not worth it. Look, Janet is here. Thank you so much, Janet, for coming. She is going to tell you in a few minutes about what it is that she does, and she's going to be adding to the conversation. I see the little heart. Thank you. So I've been married 37 years, but I want to say between years 1 and 7, I was trying to get out of it all the time. Because I was just like, this is not what I was expecting. But we will get into that and hopefully get some perspective from you guys. If you haven't been to an audio room before, when it's time, all you have to do is raise your hand and I can bring you up on stage and get your perspective. But let me go ahead and introduce Janet Dominack. I hope I'm saying her name correctly, but she'll say her name and share a little bit about what it is she does. Go ahead, Janet.
Hi, Lucille. That's the right way to pronounce my name. I'm just recovering from COVID, so hopefully my voice doesn't crack too much. What I do is I work with women on one-on-one basis, and sorry, Lucille. And so I work with them one-on-one, trying to navigate through the process of divorce. And usually the first question I ask them is, what other aspects have you tried? Have you tried therapy? Have you tried talking to your spouse? There's numerous different ways that you can work on your marriage before it's too late. And usually they say, no, I've tried everything. I just want out. So, but I always do check. And I think it's important because, as you said, marriage is not easy. And I know I went through a really difficult divorce, and it was a marriage that I thought would be my dream marriage, my dream husband, all that stuff. And it turned out we were not compatible at the end, but we are now very good co-parents to our 13-year-old daughter. So it's been a long haul trying to just get to that co-parenting part, but it's worth it. So I'll send it back to you, Lucille.
All right, well, fantastic. Janet, let me just say this, girl. I had COVID some months back, and I am so sorry to hear that you have COVID, or that you're recovering from COVID. I hope you recover really well. I don't know if I would have asked you to do this room if I had known that you had recently been sick, but that's even...
Sorry, Lucy, you asked me before I got sick, so I was like, yeah. So no, don't worry about it. I had to come. So I'm here, I'm fine.
Okay.
Just my voice is cracky.
Okay, gotcha. It sounds sexy to me. So just go ahead. It got that low, sultry sound to it.
Yes, I got the sultry voice going on here.
Well, let me just say this. I did some research when I came up with this title here. And I think you and I come from some similar perspectives, and then I love the opposite perspective, because I'm still in my marriage of 37 years, and you're on the other side of a divorce, but you and your partner are working together to co-parent. So I think that is wonderful, and I think that's the ideal. If you can't make it work together, at least be there together for the kids. So some of the research that I came up with, when I'm always doing researching and stuff, is I looked at, and I just kind of Googled it, is marriage worth it? And so one of these research studies that I found, it says that the research revealed that married people are more likely to have better health, physically and emotionally, that they have more robust immune systems, they have better financial stability, and the earning power of a married couple is well above that of a single couple or couples that live together and aren't married. They also live longer, as well as having drastic decreases in rates of depression and mental illness. Now, the caveat to this, they say, now, of course, these research stats are for marriages that are doing well. So we all know someone who is in a marriage that is not doing well. So we are not talking about any marriages that are having physical or emotional abuse or anything like that. So I'm gonna put the question over to you, Janet, since you work with women who are experiencing divorce. What do you think? Do you think marriage is worth it in 2023?
Well, for me, I don't ever want to get married again, but that's just my opinion. I do agree with you on the point that married couples do make more money and it's more stable. That is, I mean, if they're both working, of course. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe the health, because you have somebody there to help you out, take care of you. I don't have anyone to take care of me except my 13-year-old, and she's not, she can't do everything for me. Mm-hmm. So, I do think those are valid points. But for me to go through another marriage is not something that I would want to do. And I think I might have to pass on that whole experience and say no. That's just not. I think I rather take my chances being alone.
Well, Janet, it's funny that you say that, because I'm going to tell you. Of course, there have been many ups and downs, and anybody who's in the audience who has been married know that in order to get to 37 years of marriage, there are a lot of ups and downs and twists and turns that you go through. And so there was a time in my marriage, too, that I told somebody, and these are my exact words: look, if my husband leave me or divorce me, it's okay. I'm not going to do this again. Either way, it would be all right with me. I told him I don't want another man to even look my way. So I definitely get it. I definitely get it. But what I will say is that for me, I never thought that I would get to 37 years, because I mentioned earlier that in year 1 through 7, I was really trying to get out of it every chance I could get, because it just wasn't going the way I thought it should go. But let me just say, here now, I love my husband more than ever before. I'm glad we got to this point. And I'll just share with you some of the benefits. And so some of the benefits I mentioned from that study is, yes, better financial stability. Now, that took a really a tussle in order to get us there, because he's a spender and I'm a saver. And so we were never on the same page most of those years. But later on, we got it together. So I will say that we are better financially now than we ever have been. And it might be because the kids are older and grown now. We don't have sports fees and stuff to pay for anymore. So that could be part of it. But emotionally, oh my goodness, I am in a better state with him. And it's really been good for me. It's been a blessing for me. I'm a person of faith. I love the Lord. And so when I say that, I prayed for a husband, and I asked the Lord to send me somebody who would be good for me. And so what I am an adoptee, I guess you would call it. I was raised away from both of my parents by an elderly aunt who was really old enough to be my great-grandmother, but definitely old enough to be my grandmother, if not my great-grandmother, because she was 60 years old when she started raising me at a year and a half old. And so I don't have any real connection to family. Let me put it like that. The family that I was raised here, they don't really embrace me as family. And so I always said I wanted to create my own family. And so my husband's family has been a real blessing for me and anchors me and gives me that peace that I so wanted to have. The stability, another goal for me, and this is what I talk to women about and men when I work with them, is what is your end goal? And so my end goal has always been that if I had children, that I wanted to be able to have a home unit, if possible, for them that, was, like I said, we're not talking about any abuse or anything like that, but was a stable environment. And my husband, he's not perfect. I'm not perfect either, but I will say this. He is really a good dad. And he goes to all the track meets, basketball games, baseball games, whatever it is. He's always working to get his schedule so he can go to any of those things. So my marriage has definitely been a blessing to me. So my answer to the question would be, I believe that marriage is still worth it in 2023. Now, I would welcome anyone who is in the audience, if you would just raise your hand. I think I've learned how to bring people up now. I had my first room the other week, and I didn't even know how to bring somebody up. Somebody in the audience had to tell me how to do it. But if it's anybody in the audience that wants to come up and speak on this, you are welcome to do that and give us your take and your perspective on it. Oh, I see Kelly. All right, let me see. Click on the ellipses. Allow to speak. Yay. Hello, Coach Kelly. How are you?
Hello. I am doing great. This is my second time ever on a LinkedIn audio stage. I don't know if they call it stages, but I'm so excited to be here. And I love what you're talking about, and my answer is yes. And I'll pause to give you a moment to comment, and then I do not mind expounding on my thoughts.
Well, thank you so much, Coach Kelly. Well, tell me, I've been following you a little bit a while here on Clubhouse and LinkedIn, and so I know you're married and that you have somewhat of a large family. So come on, expound and let us know a little bit about what you do, what type of coach you are, and then go ahead and tell us about why you say that you think marriage is worth it in 2023.
Okay, well, I am a faith-based coach. I coach other coaches, kingdom-driven specifically. But yes, I'm married and I have a large blended family. My husband and I each came into the marriage with 4 children, and then we had 2 of our own. And so I guess my only expertise on this would be that I have been married previously. So I do have something in common with Janet. I have been divorced, but for me, though, I did not lose hope in the promise, the hope, the beauty in the union of marriage. And so I was definitely eager to get married again, but more than eager to get married, I was eager to find the person who was going to help me fulfill what I believe that God's plan was for me in my life. And so that happened. And yes, I'm remarried, but I absolutely feel that it is so worth it more than ever as we now in 23 are exiting the last few years of all of everything, the chaos that was involved in the last few years. I see that it's worth it because during the entire, I'll get it. During the entire, I had my spouse to hold to have my back and to hold me accountable and to help me out and to love on me in a way that I wasn't getting it from the external sources that I have been. And as we go forward, and I'm embarking on new relationships in 23, as I'm venturing out into new places, and as a business owner into new markets, that what we built, especially in these last few years, is what I know I'm going to need in order to continue to fortify me. But the reason why it's worth it is because no amount of money that I make as a business owner, no amount of clients that I'm able to impact as a coach, no amount of brunches and lunch dates and mani-pedis I can go on is really going to satisfy that peace in me that my spouse feels. There is just something about having somebody that can navigate rough waters with you. There is just something about having somebody that they it can be challenging at times, that you guys can sit down and just think, what are we doing here? And at the end of the day, why is what we're doing here right now important? And so I'm excited for 2023. My marriage, I'm excited for the marriages of people who are building them and maybe considering them. And listen, to Janet's point, I'm going to even say this as a former divorced person. Well, I guess I'm not a former divorced person. Once divorced, you've always been divorced. But I'm even excited for the people who are taking advantage of the reality check of their marriage and making the moves that are going to be best for them as well. So thank you so much for letting me speak. I'm Kelly, and I'm yielding my mic over to you, Lucille.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Kelly. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I didn't know your story that y'all had. I knew you had a blended family, but each of you brought 4 children to the family. Oh, my goodness. I just can't even imagine as an only child to be in the household with that many children. But bless you for that.
Wait, let me just clear it up, because it's not as bad as it seems. Our children range in age. The his and mine are ages 16 to 28. And so when we got married, we didn't have everybody living with us. No.
Okay.
No. Some of them were already out the house and in college. And so at this point right now, we of all 10 kids, we only have 3 with us. So everybody else is grown and doing their thing, except for the 3 that are at home.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But I always, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be in a big family. Because I didn't have nobody to play with. So I like those big families. They're noisy and chaotic sometimes, but I love to hear about those big families. But you said something I wanna piggyback on. You said navigate the rough waters. Oh my goodness. And I see Nellie, if she put a heart up. Navigating those rough waters, that is really something that when I think about all of the years that I've been married, the ups and downs, the losses, the gains, there were times when there was a loss of job, just so many losses. I'm talking about loss of family members, loss of jobs, loss of opportunities. There have been lots of losses. And so I consider that, that's what comes to mind when I think about navigating rough waters, that there have been some times that there have been some rough waters to navigate. And so I just want to remind anybody who's in the audience, if you want to come up and participate in this, I'm welcome your perspective on this, because we have 2 ladies here that I'm really loving this. Janet, who is divorced now and helps coach women in their divorces, and Kelly can give the perspective of she's been divorced and she's now remarried. So and so she feels like that marriage is still worth it. So let me just say this, that along with the studies, I'm a big nerd. I like to look up research a lot of stuff. So there's a study that revealed that most couples wait 6 years after they're experiencing marriage problems before they even begin seeking help to get support. So do you feel like, I would pose this to anybody in the room, but particularly since Kelly and Janet are here on the stage, I'm gonna give you a second to think about that. But a study revealed that most couples wait 6 years after marriage problems start before they even seek help. Do you think that is, well, to me, that's problematic. That is problematic. I don't think we would wait that long for other things. If there was a health problem we were experiencing, I don't think we would wait that long. If there was something else going on, maybe at the job, you might not would hang on in there that long. I don't know. Just give me your perspective. I feel like that's in the same realm as this question here about, is marriage worth it? Because, you'd wait 6 years, or what do you think about that? What's your perspective, Janet?
So, that's a long time to wait. Maybe there's other things that are behind it. So they have kids. Usually that's one thing, and they're super busy with the kids and they forget about their spouse, or they're trying to get a job. I mean, there's all these struggles that seem to happen at the beginning of the marriage, and then 6 years, that's extremely long. And to try to fix that kind of a relationship, it's going to be difficult, and you're going to have to really work hard to be able to fix whatever the problem is. And they both have to want to fix it. That's the problem. Once you're stuck in that kind of rut and you just don't want to be really around that person anymore, or you just like use them as a roommate kind of feeling, then it's kind of hard, and it really sucks. So yeah. That's terrible. I don't know. I think it's a long road, and like you said, marriage is a lot of work, and you really have to communicate. And I think learning how to communicate better with your spouse might help with some of the long-term, like 6 years, forever, that long-term problem that people have. And I think that was one of the problems I had too, was I didn't communicate what I wanted, or he wasn't listening to what I wanted, type thing. So it was kind of a mutual issue that we both had. We just couldn't communicate properly to each other in order to make our marriage work. So that's, huge problem. Huge problem.
Gotcha. Thank you for that. Kelly, do you have a perspective?
I do. I think that 6 years is also a long time, but I can see how that will happen. Many times in relationships, people enter it, and as troubles arise, they might be in denial, or they might seek to see if is it me, and then they're going to their friends and they're seeking support from outside sources before they actually get the professional help. I know I run in faith spaces, maybe even go to their spiritual advisor for help on how to really manage the troubles and the trials that come with marriage. But I will even say this, because even at the point where somebody at 6 years seeks support, I'm still going to applaud them, because one of the things that I see happen way more now that I get older are people have been married for 20 years or 30 years or even 40 years. And then they decide, you know what, I'm done. And you can't undo the history. You can't undo the hurt. But I just wonder what would have happened if they would have sought support earlier on, so that they can really live a life that is full, and one that they enjoy, if it be with each other or apart, whatever the case, but live a life worth living. So that's what I got.
Yes, I agree with both of you on that. And you brought up something, Kelly, too. I remember as a younger person, probably, I don't know, maybe less than 15 years in my marriage, and I knew someone at the place I was employed at that had been married 30 years, and they had got a divorce. And I thought to myself, why would someone get out of a marriage where they had that much longevity? But lo and behold, When I got to around 30 years, I was like, okay, I get it now. You just want to be out of pain. But in saying that, I want people who are listening to really get, yes, we're saying it's work, but on the other side, what isn't work? Let me just say that. What isn't work? If you got a degree, that's work. I'm in a field where I have to have continuing education hours. That's work. Whatever it is that we're doing for our personal lives outside of marriage, all of these things take work. And so, yes, marriage is like that too. And I think social media, movies, all of that give the wrong impression of what marriage is. But I don't want to be the Debbie Downer here with just saying, all of the work that it takes. There are so many good things, and I mentioned some of those on the stats that come out of being married. That I don't want that to get watered down either. I have someone to pray with me, to pray for me. When I'm sick, I have someone to help me. And I'm here to help him when he's having problems. I can pray for him, pray with him, help him through whatever, it is that he has going on in his life. But I have a partner. I have a teammate. I think about it. We look at sports. I love college basketball more so than the NBA. It's more exciting to me. But when I see any type of sporting event and I see the teamwork that goes into that, and everybody is moving towards a common goal, but everybody's playing their role. And I just think that that's a good example of, thank you, Mikhail. I hope I'm saying that right. That's a good example of everybody plays their role, but that we're moving as a team together to accomplish something, whether it's legacy for our family, whether, it's togetherness for our kids, whether it's, companionship for each other. All of that goes into it. So just didn't want that to get out. Yes, it's hard work, but I like to say it like this. We play hard. How does that go? What is it? We work hard and we play hard. And that's what we do. We have some fantastic, good times, when I can go to bed and I can look over and see, my sweetheart, the person that I might have just had to go off on a few minutes ago. But I can say, oh, honey, I'm sorry for that or whatever, and then still give him a hug and a kiss and just see him light up when I do that and his chest kind of stick out and say, oh, yeah, I still got it. It just warms my heart. But in the last few minutes that we have here, because I'm a person who loves to stay on time, and the room is supposed to close in a few minutes. But is there anyone else who wants to give some closing remarks? And I'll start with you, Janet, and then I'll go to you, Kelly. Do you have any closing remarks?
I just want to thank you, Lucille, for letting me share the stage with you. And I did a poll on is marriage worth it? And it's kind of interesting. 83% said it was worth it. So I think I need to rethink my maybe not marriage. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
I pray that you find someone who is for you and that you can have that same type of relationship that you desire. Kelly, do you have any closing words?
I want to thank you so much for facilitating this conversation. And Janet, that is so interesting about your poll. And yay, I'm glad you will rethink it. But again, Lucille, it's wonderful that you hold space like this and allow for those of us who are either married or not to engage in thought-provoking conversation. So thank you. Back over to you.
Thank you so much. And thank both of you ladies and everybody in the room who took time out of your busy schedule to sit in and listen on this. So with that, I'll say until next time, be looking for another thought-provoking question. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.